Welcome back to computer science class. In this session, we discuss a new chapter, function. We know that program is a collection of instructions or collection of statements. Program is a collection of statements. Then, if the program length is increased, then it is difficult to trace the program. Moreover, it is difficult to maintain the program. Then we go for modular technique. If the program length is increases, then we go for modular technique. Already we know that what is modular technique or what is modularity. It is discussed in problem solving methodology. Here modules are the sub-programs. We divide a lengthier program into smaller programs. Those smaller programs or sub-programs are called modules. Here functions are the sub-programs. Functions are the sub-programs to solve his or her problem. That is the definition of functions. So functions are also a sub-program. But functions do not return a value directly. The functions do not return a value directly. When it is called, functions are called, then functions returns a value. When functions are called, then returns a value. Let's see the complete definition of function. Function is a named group of statements. Functions are the named group of statements to solve a sub-problem. Then functions are return a value when it is called. So this is the complete definition of function. Function is a named group of statements. These are the named group of statements to solve a sub-problem. Hence, modules are also called functions. Modules are the sub-problems. Sub-problems have its own set of statements. Hence, functions, modules are also functions. Then, named group of statements are called sub-problems. Functions are returned. These functions are return a value when it is called. These are developed independently. Functions are developed independently, compiled and tested independently. These are the complete programs. Functions are the complete programs. They developed independently, compiled and tested independently. But functions do not return a value automatically. Functions do not return a value automatically. When it is called, when it is invoked, then the functions returns a value. For example, see here, every program begins with a main program. Every program have only one main function. Main is also function, but it is compulsory for all the programs. Then we create many number of functions. Then these functions are invoked from the main program. That is called a function or invoking. When we invoke a function, these are the functions. Function 1, function 2, function 3. Then when we invoke a function, then the functions returns a value to the calling program. This is the called program. This is the called program. This is the calling program. So calling program returns a value to the called program. Then these functions, these small programs have named group of statements. Named group of statements. They prepare independently. They developed independently. They compiled and tested independently. Then these are ready for use. These are ready for use. These are ready for use for the particular function or some more programs. Particular programs or some more programs. Then these do not return a value automatically. See the continuation of definition. Functions are return a value when it is invoked or when it is called. They do not return a value independently. When we send a request to process particular function, after processing it returns a value. That is the definition of function. Named group of statements. Named group of statement to solve a sub program. These do not solve any entire problem. These are the sub problem to solve a sub problem. Function or return a value when it is invoked. That is the nature of the function. What is the nature of the function? They do not return any value directly, but it returns a value when it is invoked. Then the functions, the program may have several number of functions. Every program have several number of functions. That is, we have to divide a lengthier program into smaller sub programs. All sub programs are, we call it as functions. Then mainly there is a two types of functions. Let's see the types of functions. Mainly there is a two types of functions. The first one is predefined functions. Predefined functions. Then second one is user defined functions. Predefined functions or user defined functions. The predefined functions are also called library functions. These are also called library functions. Here the library functions is a collection of predefined functions. It is a collection of predefined functions. Hence we call it as predefined or library functions. It is a collection of predefined function. Hence it is a library function. Library function is a collection of predefined functions. Collection of predefined functions, and these are accessed through header files. These predefined functions are accessed through only header files. Hence these are the library functions. Then second one is user defined functions. Name itself says it is a user defined. These functions are defined by the user to solve his problem. User defined functions, these are defined by user to solve his or her problem. See the definition of user defined function. These are the functions. These are the functions defined by the user to solve his or her problem. Here also all functions are complete programs. All functions are complete programs, but these are accessed through main program. These are invoked through main program or some other function. Then these function returns a value. Let's discuss one by one in detail. Let's consider the first type, that is library functions. Library functions are library functions. Here, library functions are collection of predefined functions. Collection of predefined functions. These functions are accessed through only header files. These library functions are accessed only through header files. Then we know that how to include a header files. Say header files are included in the linker section using a punctuator #include. Inside the Angular tag we have to insert a header file. So to insert a header file, the syntax is #include inside the Angular bracket. Here we write the header file. Then header files have a predefined functions. Those functions are included to our program. Then these are the predefined. What is the meaning of here predefined? They already return, compiled and tested. So when we use a function in our program, they are directly returns a value. Then this set of statements, what we call it as codes, are in abstract form. Codes are not visible to the users. That is called abstract form. But those functions returns a correct value when we call the function. Those functions returns a correct value. Those are called library functions, are also called predefined functions. This is a collection of predefined functions. Then these are only accessed, they are not directly available. All predefined functions belongs to any one of the header files. All predefined functions belongs to any one of the header files. First we have to include those header files to our program using a linker section. Then those functions are ready to use in our program. Let's see the header files available in C++. Already we discussed some predefined functions in problem solving methodology. Just here we revise those functions. Let's see the header files in C++. Many of the header files are available in C++ programs. But in your first PUC, we commonly used some header files. The commonly used header files are, first one is stdio.h, then second one is math.h, third one is string.h, fourth one ctype.h, fifth one conio.h. These are the commonly used header files in your first PUC. Then many of the header files are available in C++. These are the some examples for header files. We not directly include stdio.h in C++, but we include iostream.h header file. In every program, we include iostream.h header file. When we include a iostream.h header file, it automatically invokes stdio.h. Here, stdio stands for standard input output header file. Then these standard input header files have all input output functions. But in C++ we not directly include stdio.h. Instead of stdio.h, we include iostream.h. Here iostream stands for input output stream. Input output stream. Already we know that what is stream. Here stream is a sequence of bytes flow from input device to memory or memory to output device, that is called stream. Here stream is a sequence of bytes flow from input device to memory or memory to output device. That is called stream. The complete form of IO stream is input output stream. Here input stream is sequence of bytes flow from input device to memory, that is called input stream. Output stream is sequence of bytes flow from memory to output device, that is called output stream. These both operations or these related functions, input output related functions, are belongs to the header file stdio.h. Then the functions are put, get, gets, puts, getchar. So these are the examples for stdio.h functions. So it is also have a function. We know that all library functions, all predefined functions belongs to any one of the header files. So here the first one is stdio.h. std stands for standard input output header file. The functions belongs to this header file. stdio.h header files are put, get, gets, puts, get character, etc. So these are the examples for stdio.h header files or iostream.h header files. Next one is math.h. Next one is math.h. All mathematical functions belongs to math.h header file. All mathematical functions belongs to math.h header file. See here, all header files are in lowercase. C++ is a case sensitive programming language. So all header files must be written in a lowercase. All mathematical functions belongs to math.h header file. Then the functions are power, POW, log, exponents, then sine, cos, tan. So these are the functions belongs to mathematical header files. Then power, there is no operator for the power. Then there is no operator for the exponential. Hence there is a functions to find the power, exponential, logarithmic, sine, cos, tan, etc. So these are the functions belongs to mathematical header files. To use these functions, we must include a header file math.h to our program. Next one is string.h. All string handling functions belongs to string.h header file. String.h header file. The header files have all string handling functions. What is string? Here string is a sequence of characters. Written inside the double quotation. Inside the double quotation are called string. These string handling functions are belongs to the header file string.h. To use string.h, we must include string.h header files to our program. How to include? By writing hash, it is a punctuator, then an keyword include followed by string.h. String.h must be inside the Angular tag. All header files must be inside the Angular tag. Then the functions belongs to the string.h are strlen of s, where s is a string. strlen. Then second one strcat, s1, s2. It needs two strings, strcat. Then third one strcpy. It is also needs two strings. Fourth one strcmp. It also needs two strings, s1, s2. Then strcmpi. It is also needs two strings, s1, s2. Then strlen. It is a single word in lowercase. strlen. It is used to find length of given string. Length of string s. The meaning of the strlen of s means where s is a string. To know the number of characters present in the string, we use strlen. To know the number of characters present in the string, then we use strlen. It returns a integer value. The strlen returns a integer value. It counts space also character. It reads space also one of the character. Then it returns integer value. Next one is strcat. Here strcat stands for string concatenation. It is used to add two strings to given string. Strings s1, s2. The joining process in a string we call it as concatenation. That is adding of given two strings. Here the second string, that is s2, is appended to s1. s2 is appended to s1. See the example. Here s1 is computer, s2 is science. If you perform strcat of s1 comma s2 means the result of this function is, here what we done, strcat concatenate two string s1 comma s2. The result of this string, this function is computer science. Here do not allot any space. The concatenation do not allot any space. Just it appended second string value to the first string. That is the purpose of strcat. Next one is strcpy. Here cpy stands for copy the string. It is used to copy the string copy the string S2 to S1. The second string content are copied to S1. The second string content are copied to S1. That is the meaning of strcpy, stand for string copy. Next one is strcmp. Here cmp stand for comparison, string compare. It is used to compare given two strings with case sensitive. Here comparison is a case sensitive. If it is in different case, then treated as a different strings. Then the string compare returns ASCII difference of the given two strings. It returns the ASCII difference. Then last one is strcmpi. Here it is also used to compare given two strings without case sensitive. That is the meaning of strcmpi. I stand for ignore case. So these are the functions in string.h header file. The first one is strlen, string length; strcat, string concatenate; strcpy, string copy; strcmp, string compare; strcmpi, string compare with ignore case. So these are the string handling functions. Let's discuss ctype.h functions. Here ctype.h function means header file have character handling functions. Character handling functions. Then header file is ctype.h. Then the functions belongs to the ctype.h are: the first one is alpha, is digit, is alphanumeric, ALNUM, to upper, to lower. So these are the functions. These are the some functions belongs to the header file ctype.h. Here is alpha returns a non-zero value. It returns a non-zero value if the character is letter. If the character is letter, then it returns non-zero value. It returns non-zero value if given character is letter. Otherwise return 0. Otherwise it returns 0. Then next one is digit. Similarly, it returns non-zero value if the given character is digit, number. Otherwise it returns a 0. Then is alphanumeric. Whether the given character is alphabet or n numeric, alphabet or n digit, then it returns non-zero value. Otherwise it returns 0. Then to upper. This function is used to convert given characters to uppercase. To lower, it returns given characters to lowercase. See here, it returns where in digit, is digit, it returns non-zero value if given character is number. number, otherwise return 0, otherwise it returns 0. Similarly, is alphanumeric. To upper, it converts given character to uppercase. Then to lower, it converts given character to lowercase. Then here is alpha, it returns non-zero value when given character is alphabet or number, otherwise it returns 0. So these are the commonly used functions in character handling functions. Then what is character here? It is a single alphabet or a number or a symbol represented in single quotation. It is a single alphabet or a number or a symbol represented in single quotations are called character. So functions belongs to the character handling functions. Character handling header files are is alpha, is digit, is alphanumeric, to upper, to lower. Then the functions belongs to the CON-IO. CON-IO stands for console input output header file. CON-IO stands for console input output header files. The functions belongs to the CON-IO are get character. It is also belongs to stdio dot, but it is also belongs to the get CON-IO, get character, put character, puts and gets. Here put s stand for put string, get s stand for get string. So these are the functions belongs to the console input output header files. To use these functions we must include CON-IO.h, or these functions are also belongs to stdio.h but not belongs to the IO stream. These functions are belongs to stdio.h. Here stdio.h function is mandatory for all the programs, because every program must accept 2 or more inputs and must produce a single output. To produce input and output operations, the standard input output header file is compulsory. But in our program, instead of stdio.h, we use iostream.h functions. Let's discuss the next concept, that is inputting a character. To input a character, constant character, we use a function that is get. We also read a character using scene object. It is better to read a character constant using a function get. So how to use a get function? See the syntax. First we declare a character constant. To declare a character constant, it needs a data type character char. Then the name of the character constant is ch. So here it is a variable of the type character. Then the variable ch stores the character constant. Then to read the character constant, we use cin, which is equal to get of ch. This is the format. Or one more, that is ch equals cin dot get. So these are the two formats to read a character. The reading process is called inputting a character. Then another one, to output a character. We use the function we use the function put. See the syntax of output. Directly we use put, okay, cout dot put of name of the character variable, name of the character variable, that is the outputting a character constant. We directly use cin and cout, but the better performance, for the better performance we use the function get to read the character. To print the character we use put. Then both are belongs to iostream.h header file. Here to get a character have two syntaxes. The first one is cin equals get of ch or ch equals cin of get. See here, in a reading the get function is empty. How to know it is a function? The name of the function follows parenthesis. Name follows parenthesis, then we say it is a function. Then get and put are the predefined functions. So here in a cin.get, the function inside the parenthesis, are empty. But while output a character constant, the put function have a variable of the character type. Then the content of the variable is output on your monitor, display on your monitor. So these are the two functions, get and put. Both are belongs to iostream header file. Let's write a program to convert uppercase letter to lowercase or vice versa. The problem is program to convert a given character in upper case to lowercase, and vice versa. What is the meaning of vice versa? If it is in uppercase, we convert to lowercase. If it is in lowercase, we convert to uppercase. That is called vice versa. Let's write a program. First, write the include statements. iostream.h, then conio.h. Main of the program, declare a character variable, that is character of ch. Then clr scr, insert output statement, enter a character, To read a character constant, use the function, that is ch, given variable, which is equal to cin.get. Then after reading the character constant, verify whether it is belongs to lowercase or if it is belongs to the uppercase. First verify if is lower of ch is not equal to 0. See here, is lower and is upper are the two character handling functions. Here we use a is lower character handling function, hence we must include here ctype.h header file. Include ctype.h because all character handling functions belongs to the C type. Here we use is lower. It is a function. Is lower is a function. It returns non-zero value when given character is in lowercase. If it is in lowercase, we have to convert the function into uppercase. How to convert? Ch is equal to, we have a function to upper to upper of ch. For the variable ch, we convert to upper. We convert a given character to uppercase to upper of ch. Then print cout uppercase character is ch. See, when we display here, first we have to verify is lower. If the given character ch is lower, then this function returns non-zero value, that is not equal to 0. Then we have to convert that character to the uppercase using a function to upper. If it is in uppercase, then verify else if is upper of ch is not equal to 0. Here we verify if the given character is in uppercase. If it is in uppercase, this function is upper function returns non-zero value. Then we have to convert to lowercase. How to convert to lower? There is a function to lower. This function converts given character to lowercase, that is assigned to the variable ch. Then display output lower character is just print the character ch. Close the else part. Then get ch. Close the main program. Here we use functions. We use 3 functions, that is belongs to the C type dot h. First one is get function. Another one is lower, is upper, then to upper, then to lower. Here these functions are belongs to C type dot h. These 4 functions belongs to C type dot h. Here is lower, it is a single word, name of the function. Is lower returns non-zero value if the given character is lowercase. Using that is not equal to 0, non-zero value, then the given character is lower. Using a function to upper, we convert given character to uppercase, that is assigned to the variable ch. After that, here we display the variable ch, it holds uppercase character. Next one is lower. Okay, is upper. If it is in uppercase, the function returns non-zero value. Is upper function evaluates the given character. If it is in uppercase, then it returns non-zero value. If it is in non-zero value, using a function to lower, we convert given character to lowercase, that is assigned to the variable ch. Then display the ch. So this is a simple program to verify to convert whether the given character is in uppercase, then we have to convert to lowercase. If it is in lowercase, we have to convert to uppercase. In the next session, we discuss some more programs related to function. Thank you.